everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to look at one of the categories that we talked about yesterday, and that is idioms. So we'll just wait for viewers and then start. Did you all have a nice lunch? Okay. It's going up, going up. So we're going to look at this today and then we'll do a quick summary of the work and assignments that are due already, because maybe we are resuming business as usual next week, but it's a little bit unsure, I guess. So we're just going to go ahead and start them. Alright, so this is all about idioms. So a little quiz. And you have to choose either A, B, C, or D. And in this example, we've got the use of the word apple and eye. So you are the apple of my eye. Can anybody guess what that is? What meaning is the best? Is it A, cherished above everybody else? Is it B, that you like someone? Is it C, you really like apples? D, or there's something in your eye? So have a little think about this and then choose the best option, the one that you think is the best and the one that gives the best meaning for this particular idiom. You are the apple of my eye. So wait for some answers to come in. Still lots of people joining. There's a bit of a lag, so I don't know if you've replied or not yet, so I'll wait a few more seconds before moving on. Okay then, yeah. So there's a few answers coming through. So yeah, it looks like A would be the best answer right for this. Cherished just means like to protect or care for in a loving way. So lovingly. For example of that might be Monica cherished her little hamster. So that means she loves him, to look after a hamster and take care of a hamster in a loving way. Alright, so the other way to say that would be to say that you are the apple of my eye, usually between two people who like each other very much. Okay, let's move to the next one then. So how about this? 3 choices this time, A, B or C. So these are slightly easier idioms, they're not too difficult to have a guess at, particularly when you've got a multiple choice as well. Especially for multiple choice. So to fancy someone, here we see a fancy cake. Fancy can mean an adjective, which is like elaborate or decorated, or has a lot of detail. But you can also use it as a verb. So in an adjective you'd say fancy furniture or fancy cake, fancy Christmas tree, meaning that there's a lot of decoration on it. But this time we're using it as a verb, right? So to fancy. He fancies someone, she fancies someone. So we're getting a few answers. Yep, B. B is right, yes, very good. So an example then for this would be, wait, go back. An example of this would be, do you fancy a drink? So that's how you use that in everyday conversation. How about this one? After hearing the full story, we realized there was more to it than met the eye. So this is an idiom. Where is the idiom actually? So the idiom is, there is more than meets the eye. More than met was more than met the eye. So the idiom is more than meets the eye. Is it not? Is it A, hidden facts not known right away? Is it B, most of the story is not true? Or is it C, they had eye surgery? In this one, more than meets the eye, you could rephrase that, more than you can see. Something that meets the eye is something that you can see, so have a little guess, an educated guess as to the best option, A, B or C. Okay, yeah, most of you are saying A, so that looks like a good choice to me. Let's hit A, very good. Okay, an example would be, there is more that meets, there is more that meets the eye with this document, for example. There is more that meets the eye with this investigation, something that you are looking into that seems easy, but then it's a little bit more complicated. Right? Keeps on moving on automatically. Anyway, next one then, butterflies in the stomach. So sometimes you get a feeling where you think you have butterflies. It feels like butterflies in your stomach. So what does this try to tell us? What is the meaning of this one, the deeper meaning? These are types of idioms that you hear quite regularly, actually. Okay, so A is feeling light like a butterfly. B is feeling nervous or excited, something like you get before an exam or before a test. And then C is feeling empty, like hungry or something. Okay, so we're getting a few answers through. Yeah, most of you seem to have gone for B, so let's check B. Okay, very good. So, you know, it's that feeling that you get when you could be going on a first date or a bungee jump, something like that. So you get these fluttery feelings in the stomach, and that's like you're excited or maybe nervous about doing it. Okay, next one then, to pass with flying colours. Pass with flying colours. Is that to pass a pilot's exam, to know all of your colours, or to get a high test score? Yeah, okay, looks like most of you are getting that as well. So nice and easy, not too difficult, right? To get a high score in a test. So yeah. Next one then, eager beaver. So an eager beaver, people can be beavering away at doing something. So is it to be enthusiastic? Is it to be hardworking? Or is it to hesitate, to stop and not do something? Eager beaver. So think about the beavers. What do? They're usually quite busy, aren't they? Building dams and things like that. Yeah, so this is quite straightforward. They're busy animals, right? They're semi-aquatic. They go around building dams very quickly, blocking up the waterways. So these are very hard-working animals. I got that one wrong as well. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah. Well, there's similar answers really, but yeah, I would have gone for B there. Never mind. So the next one then, the University of Life. What is this about? I better check my answer on this one. Is it A, to learn from experience? Is it B, to go to university? Or is it C, to take an online course? Seven A. Okay. Yeah, so this is what people say when they have taken or learned most of their knowledge from life, the experiences they've had as they progress through life. And then, so learning from experience rather than actually going to university. And then these are usually to do with work or also relationships. So nothing academic in this sense. You could also say University of Hard Knocks, like knockbacks, when something knocks you back and there's resistance to progress. So yeah, this is what you use. And then an example, what university did you go to? And then if you haven't been to university, the University of Life. So that's A. All right, this one. Some of these can be negative, but other ones are positive. What's your best guess for this one? Yeah, B would be the best answer for this. So if you're not married and have a baby, it's called a love child. Okay. How about this one? Nice and easy. It's a little bit babyish. The children would use this all the time, complaining to their teacher about somebody who is copying. So is it A, twin cats? Is it B, someone who does or says exactly what the other person does? And then C, an original thought or act? Copycat. Yeah, very good. Go with B. B seems to be the best choice. Next one then. To learn the hard way. Are we doing that one? Yeah, to do something or be successful at something by learning the hard way. So is that A, to learn from a bad experience? Is it B, to learn from a book? Or is it C, to learn from watching someone else? Yeah, a lot of A's. Okay, yeah, seems like the right answer, right? And it is. All right, moving on to the next one then. To excuse me, to cover a lot of ground. To cover a lot of ground. To cover a lot of ground. Yeah, so I'll give you an example. Uh, you can say this for football games, right? I think this is probably where it comes from like sports or something. He covered a lot of ground by running. But another possible meaning, we have covered a lot of ground in this meeting. So I think we can stop here and put these ideas into practice. So really, we can have A or B, right? Let's go for B. To have a crush on someone, all right, what's this? There is always that one boy or one girl who doesn't know you exist and you have a crush on them. So is it A, feeling very attracted to someone, or is it B, feeling broken, or is it C, feeling lost? Yeah, cool, okay. A lot of you coming up with the same answer, yes, very good. Yeah, so that's that. So an example would be, you know Jessica has a crush on you, don't you? Yes? No? Who's Jessica? Oh, you have a crush on her. Alright, this is slightly easier example. I'm keeping an eye on you, so which one is this? Is it A, I need glasses, B, I'm watching you, or C, I'm ignoring you? Yeah, nice and easy. B, give me a hand. How about this? Yeah, straightforward, right? This is just to help somebody, to give someone a hand, not actually literally giving your hand to them. How about this one? Slightly more difficult, to be in hot water. So an example might be, I'm really in hot water with this assignment. I don't think I can meet the deadline. I'm really in hot water with this assignment. I don't think I can meet the deadline. Yes, okay, very good. So the best one for this would be to be in trouble. Ahead of the game. Ahead of the game, what's the meaning for this one? Someone who loves board games. someone who is concentrating, someone who is advanced in an area. Someone who knows more about a topic or subject. Yeah, cool. Okay, C seems to be the right answer, doesn't it? It's the best of those choices, yes. So we've got C. Well done, everyone. Doing well. Finding your feet. How about this? Finding your feet probably comes from if you were moving to a new town and you didn't know where you were walking around. You can find your feet. Yes, by adjusting to new situations. Okay, very good. Alright, let's shoot through this next one then. It's to be tickled pink. What's the best guess? So does it mean it's embarrassed or does it mean you're thrilled or happy? What happens when your face goes red? Pink, really? Not as bad as red. Yeah, to be tickled. Tickled is like a positive statement, a positive verb. And then you're so happy that you go pink in the face. Alright, very good. Does that ring a bell? You ask somebody about something that they can remember. So I've given you the answer there already. This one is something you can remember. Does that ring a bell in your head? Ding, ding, ding. Or if something is eye-catching, looking at something catches your eye. Yeah, okay, very good. So the best answer is B there. Alrighty, so those are quite simple. We won't continue. Those are quite simple. Mute? Oh, it's okay. Okay, that's okay. Sorry, and those are quite simple idioms that you can use, so we're just getting used to the idea. Remember that yesterday we talked about choosing one of the categories and then finding one that you like. So this was just an opportunity to show you a few of the basic ones and the ones that you can often find in everyday language. So that would be for the category of idiom, but remember there are many others. So what was the purpose of that? Well, to find your idiom, so you can go and have a look through the internet, search for something, find an idiom, and then it has to be one you like, right? It's got to be something you like. Then find the meaning of it, and then determine whether it's positive or negative, like we saw there. And then you have to think of a situation, a context that you can put it in that clearly explains the meaning, or the deeper meaning of the idiom that you're using, or for that matter, any other type of category from the other literary devices that we looked at. Alright, so let's see how we can think of a situation and then put the right idiom into that context. So Bear with me a second. We're just going to look at another one. This is by Numero Uno. Right. Love yourself. Bear with me a second. Okay. Do this one because it's a bit easier to see. Yeah. So this time we have the idiom, but we're going to see, we have the context, we have the situation, and then we're going to see which is the best fit, the best idiom to put into the missing space. So we have, I didn't like that guy from blah blah blah, he has always been very rude. You could say something like, I haven't liked that guy from what? Which is the best answer? Is it turn a blind eye? Is it easier said than done? Is it what have you been up to? Or the get-go? Alright, so really this is like I haven't liked someone from the start, right? So we're looking for something that tells us the start. So which one is it? Yeah, okay, the get-go. Next one then. The corrupt officials, blah blah blah, to the corporations breaking the law. Which one is best to put in there? So these are corrupt officials. What's going on? Yeah, the officials are doing something wrong, and so are the corporations. They're breaking the law, and then to allow them to continue or to carry on, then they have to turn a blind eye. Very good. How about this one? You've been acting very strange lately. So is it A, is it B, is it C, or is it D? Okay, so this is the question, isn't it? It's asking a question. Yeah, cool, okay, you getting the hang of it? So yeah, what's the deal? What's the deal with that? What's the big deal? You know, tell me more, tell us what's wrong. Okay then, next. Designing and launching an app on iTunes is much. What? Is it A? Is it B? Is it C? Or is it D? Designing and launch an app on iTunes is much. So designing and launching something, that sounds like it's going to be a difficult task or a project that involves a lot of work. So what would be the best choice there? Yeah, okay, cool. So easier said than done, right? So it's easier to talk about it than actually do it. Next one, riding a unicycle, that's a bicycle with one wheel. It's not so hard once you what it. Yeah, get the hang of it, right? Get the hang of it is just get used to it, know how to operate it. And then the next one, number 6. This is a question. So what question best fits in there? If the answer is not much, just hanging out. Not much, just hanging out. How are you? Yeah, very good. So what have you been up to? We looked at that yesterday a little bit, didn't we? Next one then, what have you been up to? Not much, just what? I think we know this one. Hanging out. Okay, next. I'm so tired from working all day, I'm going to what? What do you do when you're tired? So normally you'd sleep, right? Something like that. So which one is best for sleep? Hit the hay. Is it hit the hay? Yeah, I'm going to hit the hay, which is just another way to say I'm going to go to bed or going to go to sleep. All right. Who is going with you to the party? Who is going with you to the party? Yeah, if you're going alone, then you can try and boost up the numbers. Me, myself, and I. So it's just different ways of saying you're going alone. Just you. Just me. And then the final one for this then. I haven't seen my dog in a few days. Can you do something for me? Yeah. Okay, cool. So these are just ways of using idioms in everyday language. We won't do that one. And then, so that was just a little example of what to look for. What to look for, and then you can do that same as with the other categories to find something that you like and that you can use in an example. So you're thinking about the situation. Okay, so hopefully that's clear enough. Remember the other categories that we're dealing with. So you also have to find 5 out of the 12, which we looked at yesterday. So it could be a simile or a metaphor, or personification, something like that. Something that catches your eye and that you like, and then give examples for that. All right, so before we do that though, I wanted just to finalize what is due, what work you should have done already, and what is what needs to be done before the end of term, before you will finish. So we're just going to take a quick look at work and assignments and what's due. So this is basically it. We've got charts and graphs, which is the first thing we talked about. Remember that was all about the ups and downs, so increases and then like surges or spikes. Yesterday there was a spike in the number of cases or whatever, and then the decreases, other ways of explaining decreases. So that could use verbs such as plunge or plummet for like a dramatic drop. And then of course you have, when it remains the same, stabilize, right? So that was all about the worksheet. Then we did the quiz. So the quiz is in Kahoot. If you haven't done that, you can let me know and I can reopen it. So that is also important. But the most important part of that was the speaking activity. And then I have received some speaking activities from a few students, but you need to do that. It's also a must do. And spend the time now. I mean, you've got between now and then next week to do something, so you have a bit of free time to do that. All right, then the second topic we covered was radio advertisements. So in that activity we did a worksheet on Google Forms. And then this is also a speaking activity. This is group work. So maybe a little bit easier and less to do by yourself. So like a problem shared, right? You can share that, organize yourselves in the groups, and give each other roles to do for that particular activity. But make sure everybody speaks in that one, right? Okay, and then we have, last week was the radio advertisement and also the speech. We looked at a speech, which was a listening activity. So make sure you do that also. That was a Google form which you have access to. And then finally we talked about figurative language this week, and there will be a Google sheet which I will send to you all about that. So again, that was all about figurative language, simile, metaphor, personification, irony, idioms. We do all of that. So is everybody okay with that? Do you need any more information on how to do radio advertisements, or speeches, or charts and graphs? I've sent some useful websites, so hopefully that helps. Remember, like for the adverts, you've got to have the attention grabber, talk about the benefits, talk about call to action, and then you have to make a slogan as well. Okay, no? Alright then, so that's fine. So that brings us to the end for today. What I will do is send you the worksheet. So remember, look for something that you think is a good one and something that you might be able to use in the future yourself. So it's like a personal thing that you can use or would like to use at some point in the future, because some of them are quite good. And then I will send you details of an app actually, which is very good, which like lists all of the idioms. There are, I don't know, thousands of idioms that you can use. So it's a little bit difficult finding one which is particularly good. But have a scan, so you can scan alphabetically through the different idioms. Pick one that you like, find the meaning, make sure you understand the meaning, and then put it in context, giving a situation for that particular one. And then do the same with the others as well. So the other things like simile, also make sure you give like a situation, an example that clearly gives us the meaning for that particular simile or that particular metaphor, or whichever one of those techniques or devices you choose to use. Okay then, so that's it for today. See you next week. Bye bye for now. See you.
What? Really?
Yeah.